just as it's starting to rain. All right. I had some really good conversations last week on the podcast. Those are coming up soon. One was with researcher Margie Davenport. And one of the conversations we were talking about was understanding kind of the time frame between research and what we see in kind of, in clinic and application and things like that. And how people don't realize how long it takes, one, to gather research, two, to kind of compile and process that research, then to publish it, and then to get it out to the masses. I volunteered a number of years ago to be an item writer for our National Physical Therapy examination. My brain does not work that way, writing questions, because it's all that like test taking, crazy stuff. Abby, come on. And so one of the things that we learned for the exam is that you could use any text, I think, within 10 years, right? And so you think of how long it takes for research to be published, and then if somebody's going to include that in a book, how long it takes to publish a book. By the time something's in a textbook, it's probably way out of date. And let's say it was in a textbook published 10 years ago, the evidence that's referenced in there is probably even 5 years older than that. So when we're looking at data, the good news is there is more research in postpartum return to sport, like that's getting better. But, and this was what Margie and I were talking about, was how clinicians really need researchers to kind of drive, I guess, and support the questions that we have and the things that we're trying out. But researchers need us because we're the ones that have access to cases to study. And so it really it needs to be a collaborative relationship. And then the other piece beyond that is we're the ones with the voice. So if a researcher doesn't have a significant following on social, how are they going to access and get people to study? So cases and subjects and that sort of thing. So at the end of the day, when people are talking about, oh, well, research says this, you kind of have to go back and look and see how old it is and where it came from. And if it's from a textbook, it's way too old. But then also, if you are a pro and you follow a researcher, we need to elevate. We need to elevate and help them find as many subjects as they possibly can. We need to help promote their work so it gets out there so we can start to change things. Because just for example, in the running world, the crap that is out there that people are teaching clients is so incredibly not up to date. And we're going to be talking about that soon, talking about active warm-up stretching, those sorts of things. That's just running, period. That's not even just straight postpartum. So I would love to hear from the moms that are out there, like, are you looking for the most up-to-date evidence? Does that matter to you? And if you're a postpartum professional, like, is it important for you to be evidence-based or evidence-informed? I like that much better because there's so much of what we do that just still needs to be studied, and there's not enough people doing the studying. My brain does not work that way. I'm the idea person and I like to play. I'm not super rigid, but I would love to hear kind of what does evidence and evidence-informed mean to you in the context of all this. I would love to hear it. Thanks.